This is your boy, Mr. So Spliffy here. Shout out to those that know me on Instagram. Thank you for the views and the followers that I have gotten so far. If you like my work, continue to watch the videos that I've remade and wait for new content to come out. And other than that, right now we're gonna focus on creating basically. And I'm just gonna get right into it. The photo editing program that I'm using is Gimp 2.10, which is the latest version of Gimp. If you want to get Gimp, how you gonna get Gimp? You can go to Google and type in the word Gimp, and you may see Gimp download in the Dropbox search. And this is basically where I got Gimp. As you can see, it's purple already. That's basically where I clicked at to go to the download page. It'll take you to the download page, and you can download the latest version from right here directly. I have a Mac, so this is for Mac users. Um, but you don't have to have a Mac to have the program Gimp. You can use Gimp on a Windows platform as well. So that's why I love this tutorial. Will be for both Apple or Windows platform. But anyways, so we're gonna go back. I'm gonna just take this back to Google because I gotta show y'all something. When I'm searching for a texture, I always go to Google search anyway. So we are going to make a hoodie bomber by my favorite creator. His name is Baller. Let me just type it in. And this would be him right here, Baller Boxers. I'm not going to click on the product itself. I'm just going to click his link to his name. And by clicking on the link to his name, it's going to take you straight to his catalog. Now this is his whole entire catalog. You know what I mean? He has like 4,000 products, and I'm pretty sure most of them is derivable. Derivable means it's a product that you can create off of another creator. You will give them a shortcut on, deriving off of their product, but who cares? You're gonna make something to make more credits. You know what I mean? So I'm basically looking for a bomber, right? Because I like his products, and he has a bomber. So these are all of his bombers in his shop. The one that I liked was this one right here, Bomber Hoodie. So I click on Bomber Hoodie, and on the creator's page, they should always have a texture that you can use as a guide to make your own hoodie bomber or shirt or pants or shoes. Any creator that's got a piece of clothing on their pages and they are the original creator of that product, they will have meshes and textures. These will be the textures. These right here will be the meshes. That is the difference. This is a mesh without a texture, and these are the textures. So this one right here would be the front side of the hoodie bomber. You can go back to his page and click on the back. You can click on the sleeves and get the sleeves. So on each picture, I would either right click and go to save as and save it in a safe place where I know it'll be easy to grab. In this case, I like to save them to my desktop, which is my home screen on my computer. So I already have this texture. I'm not going to save it again. I just wanted to show you guys uh, basically what the difference between a mesh and a texture was. So we'll go back to his page, and we're gonna leave this up. We're gonna come back to that though. So I'm using Gimp. I've been loaded up the image in Gimp, and we're gonna first start on the front side of this hoodie bomber. So I always like to use two pictures of the texture because I may change this whole picture one color, and then I may want the same details as this zipper right here. You feel me? So I may make a copy of this because I may just cut the other copy. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So anyways, this is the layers window. Your layers window is basically all of your pictures, but they're in layers. This would be the bottom layer, and this would be the top layer. So these eyes clearly represent that you can, if you click them, you can hide the texture, or you can show the texture. But when you click it off, you reveal the layer up under it, right? So this is the mesh right here. I also downloaded the mesh and I loaded it into Gimp as well. We really don't need this right here as a background, so we'll just hit the delete. This is delete. This is copy. This is to change the position of each layer. I'm just showing you the little tools and stuff. This is to create a new layer. So, anyways, so yeah, this is the layers window, and you want to always keep the layer that you're working on highlighted. So, we're gonna bring back the texture by putting back on the eye or whatnot. Now this texture is not what I want to use as the ending result. I want to show you guys the longer way to making your own texture for a jacket, just in case you don't want to use the texture that the creator has on their page. And I do apologize if this video is a bit time consuming, but we are breaking this down for first time creators and creators that just need a little bit of touch up on different ways, tips and tricks on how to create. So what I want to do is go get a bomber texture for this jacket. So in order to get a texture, I would always look up on Google search, like I told you before. So in Google search, I'm gonna type in bomber texture. When I get to the results page, I always go to images, because the images always gives you bigger pictures, and big pictures is what you want with great detail. So these are pictures of, you might have a slightly couple good pictures of bomber textures, like this one right here. This would be a good one, or this one right here. But these are not the ones that I selected. I found this texture and I thought it was pretty cool. The diamonds are even. The texture is just the right blend of black. And if you wanted a different one, they also had, other ones too. Well, as you can see, they're not the best one. So the best one was this one. So I right clicked this picture and I also saved it in a safe place, or faster faster place where I can go grab it, which would be my desktop. So we're gonna go back to Gimp, and I have an Apple computer for those that don't know or don't recognize this interface. This is an Apple computer, and for those who have Windows, that's the good thing about this tutorial, because Gimp is on both platforms. So anyways, I got the picture of the original texture from Baller's page, right? But I went and I got the bomber texture from Google and I saved it to my desktop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically drag this from my desktop and drag it right into Gimp. Now when you do that, the picture is going to be extremely big. It's going to be the same size as the original size when you saved it. So to make this picture smaller, you have to use the scale tool. That's this one right here. I'm going to make sure that my layer is highlighted before I even click this picture and start manipulating with it. Now, how I explain, this is the layers tab over here. So remember, this is the top layer, this is the bottom layer. So you want to see this jacket texture right here, right? So here's a little trick. Opacity is basically what you would click on to see the layer of the one up under it. As you can see, the more you click less of 100, you can see through the texture. You're still on the same texture, but you can see it. Alright, so now you can see it. And remember, you are still on the scale tool. So from here, you're going to click the picture. And you're basically going to drag it down like this. You want to keep this center square in vision because it's the move tool to move the whole piece, as you can see. So you'll move it back in vision and then just put it at a size you can work with. So now you're just gonna line it up with one side of the jacket. We'll work on one side of the jacket first, like that. All right. Then you'll hit scale. So with scale, remember the reason why it looks like this is because your opacity is still at a low. You got half of your opacity down. But this is good so you can see your other layer, which is the texture. And remember, you're only using this one as a guide to create your own texture. That's what we are doing. So we have this layer selected, and from here, what I would do is go to the free select tool. The free select tool is a cool tool that I like to use because you can click anywhere like this and you can move your mouse around, and it's like it would always stay attached to your cursor. It's like a Spider-Man web or something, you know what I mean? So anyways, I use it like this, and I just basically use the layer up under it, which is the jacket texture, as a guide. Just don't forget the layer that you are working on is the bomber texture that you got from the Google search. Alright, so we'll go like this and we'll connect the dots. So when you do that, this is the area that you're going to cut out, which is all it is, because we want to keep this side of the jacket. Remember, this is your layer, your bomber texture. So from there, you have to click the move tool. This is the move tool. When you do that, you have an outline of where you trace. It looks like it's animated dotted lines or moving ants or something like that. So from there, you would right click and go to edit and then go to cut. So now it's cut out. In order to go to the next step or do anything, you have to get this dotted line out of the way. So you have to right click and then go to select right here and then go to none. That's how you get to the next step. You won't be able to do anything unless you do that. That is very important that y'all know that. Alright, so this is your opacity. Remember, your opacity is down at a low. You got one side of the jacket done already. So now you want to basically bring it all the way up. And you know what? I'm gonna bring it down because really what I want to keep is just this part of the jacket. So to do that, I'll go to my rectangular tool and I'll just draw a rectangle right along the line on the bottom of the jacket like that. Something like that. Now I want to right click, go to edit and cut. As you can see, you can use any shape, rectangle, circle, you know what I mean? And always right click, edit, cut. That's how you can cut that a certain part of the texture. So now we're gonna get rid of that. Right edit, select. Right select and none. Now we're gonna bring the opacity back up. All right. So now I'll go back and grab my other bomber texture again, and I'll do the same process. Scale tool. Remember, you're trying to get it to the right size. This is the scale tool that we are using. In fact, I'm not even gonna do. I'm gonna do it like this. I should have did this the first time, but could have saved myself some trouble. See. But anyway, so now I got it the right size that I want. It's on the layer that we working on. I'm gonna go to the opacity. I'm gonna bring it down like this. And what tool I'm gonna use next? The free select tool, my favorite tool. Ha ha ha. And I'm gonna start outside the picture to give myself a little head start. Let me make sure I trace it as good as I can. Because the point is, I'm trying to get rid of this excess outside of, um, yeah, we don't need this excess stuff. That's basically what we're trying to do is just get rid of it. So after you done trace it again, you go to the move tool. This is a move tool that you will be using a lot, so get used to it. So from here, you're gonna right click, and then you're gonna go to edit and cut. So it's gone. So now you're gonna right click, select none. Alright, raise the opacity back up like that. Now from here, I want to make this one layer. So you'll take this top layer and you can right click on this layer and go down to merge down. So now it's one layer. You can go to this eye and check it out. Hide it and show it. Hide it and show it. Alright. So you got that done. That's cool. Now I'm going to go with the texture. What I would do with this texture, the smart thing to do is to make a copy of it. So this right here is create a duplicate of the layer and add it to the image. So you can make a copy by clicking that. So now I have two of them. Now I'll tell you the reason why I made a copy. So we'll hide this one and go to this layer because this is the layer we're going to work on. So from here, I'll go to the colors tab, and on the colors drop down menu, you go to colorize. This is another cheat, ladies and gentlemen, where you can basically take the same texture if you didn't want it green and you wanted the same jacket and wanted to keep the same texture. You can just change the color of it by going to colorize. You go to colors and then colorize. From there, if you go on here and change the hue, you can change the hue of it like this. It's clicking and dragging it to any color that you want, you know? And you can press OK and it'll be that color. But that's not what we doing here. We making a bomber from scratch. Alright, so I'm just going to take the saturation out. Just click it and drag it all the way out because I don't want no color. Then I'm going to take the lightness and I'm going to drag it down to it. Not where it disappears, but it's like it's because I want the detail to come out a little bit. So I'll make it like that dark and then I press OK. Then I go back to colors and I go to brightness and contrast. When I go to brightness and contrast, the only thing that I really touch is the contrast and I bring it up. As you see that I bring it up and you look at the picture, it's getting blacker and blacker. And I probably would say that's acceptable for me right there. So then I press OK. Now this is the first texture, but remember we made a copy of it. So with this one, what we're going to do is we want to keep the texture of the jacket black to match the leather. That's what we're doing. So hide back the leather texture, the bomber texture that you created. And with this layer, I'm going to just, let me see how I'm going to do this. Okay, we'll go to this layer, the copy, and show it. And what I'm going to do is go to my favorite tool, which is the free select tool. And I will just start on the outside of this picture and trace like this. Oops. You can click that and move it. Don't be so quick to just, you know what I mean, press the dots because you can move them, like re-edit them like this. That's why I like the free select tool. You can, before you go to the next dot, you can go back and do that. But yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and get this over with. Oops. Connect it back. Okay. Go back to the move tool once you trace what you want out. Now I'm going to press right click, go to edit and cut. That's that side. And then I go back to my free select tool again. Go over here and start like this. Okay, I'm gonna try not to hit the zipper. That. Go to the move tool. Now it's all selected. Right click, edit, and cut. Now remember, I always keep your highlighted on the layer that you're going to be working on. Just remember that. Alright, so look what I did. Right click, select none. But look at it now. So now we have the black texture jacket. We still got the original color of the zipper, right? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. So now we're gonna go over here and take the texture and turn them on, right? Now we're just gonna say we want this, right? So we made the front part of the jacket. So from here we're gonna go to Gimp, File, Export As. I'm gonna save it to my little flash drive I have because that's a place I can go ahead and get it real quick. But you know what? I'm gonna save it to my desktop. I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. PNG is a different type of file. So when you about to save, make sure you change that to JPG. So I'm changing this whole thing to black leather bomber dot JPG. So always remember it's going to be a JPG file. Export. Alright. So when you're about to export, right, and this window pop up, sometimes you just can't press export. I don't know why. You gotta probably like press the desktop first and then go back to export and it'll save. But in some cases, uh, I'll show you again. We're gonna export the next piece. It's a little strange trick. So now we got the front side of the jacket. We're gonna go back to the product, and right here at the bottom next to the numbers, you have this link right here, derived from product. So you derive from product, you'll click on it, and it'll automatically take you straight to the 3D window. Give it some time to load up. All right, so now we're looking at the jacket, right? I'm gonna show you. So the first thing that we textured was the front part of the jacket. Over here you have the meshes, the configuration, actions, assets, and all these other tabs. But this is the tab you need to have it on, is meshes. So when you click derive from product, this will be loaded automatically on the meshes tab. These are the different parts of the jacket that you will be changing. You will be making your picture in Gimp first, and then once you're done with your picture, you'll be coming over here and basically clicking on the part of the jacket that you're ready to change. Now remember, we just made this texture right here on Gimp. So this texture is going to be on the front side of this jacket. So I saved it to my desktop. Remember? So I'm going to go get it from the desktop. I'm gonna load it up and see how it looks. Desktop. Black leather bomber. Right there. So I'll press open. Once you put it in there, you go ahead over here and press apply changes. Okay. So we got the front side of the jacket done already. So now we're gonna do the back side of the jacket. So I'll get rid of this one. And I'm gonna show you. Alright, so this is the back side. I did the same thing. I had already went and saved the pictures and dropped them in my Gimp or whatnot. So with this one, I'm going to take the same bomber texture from my desktop. I'm going to drag it and drop it on top of that one. Right? So remember, the picture is always going to be big when you drag and drop it like that, or even when you load it. So you're going to go to your scale tool right here. Scale tool, drag it, keep this in vision. Just click this exit button so you can see. Okay, so we're gonna cover there. Alright, scale. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna do is basically make sure my layer is highlighted and click on my opacity so I can see. Alright, I go to my move tool, make my little adjustment. Alright, so now I go to my favorite tool, my free select tool again, and I just trace on the outside. Trace on the outside like this. I apologize again if this video is too long, but I'm trying to make it very simple for y'all. Move tool. After I make my trace, right click in the selected area and go to cut. Right click again and go to select none. Go to opacity and raise it up. Now, I want y'all to check something out. This is a little trick. So if we hide this, our texture that we just got done cutting, look at the texture that they created. It has like this little triangle shadow or something like that. So in order to make that same type of effect, let's put our texture back on. And down here you have this button, create a new layer. So let's make a new layer. Now, remember, this is the top layer. So whatever we put on top of this will show on top of this texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click our texture that we just did, and I'm going to drop. Matter of fact, I'm going to take the eye off, and then I'm going to click the texture, and then I'm going to take my free select tool again, and I'm going to trace the texture like this. The shadow, in other words, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, the shadow texture. And I'm going to do that. Go to my move tools to select that. So remember, we had it selected on the texture, so we're going to go back to the layer we just added. Now what I'm going to do is, the color black is already the primary background color. So I'm going to take the bucket tool and I'm going to dump black in it. Right? So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go to filters, go to blur and Gaussian blur. If you go to if you just raise it up a little bit, something like 15, and then press OK, you'll see the edges, they have gotten soft. Another thing I'll do is I'll take the opacity down just a little bit like that. Alright. Now we'll right click and go to select and hit none, and then cut back on our texture right here. Go make sure we select the layer on top of our texture. And we can see we made a little bit of an effect like that, but we're gonna make it a little darker, so we just take the opacity back up. That's a little bit, yeah, like that. Well, I could have left it at 100 then. Well, nah, I'm gonna take it down to like 90. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so now we got the shadow on the jacket. I'll just right click on the layers tab and go to merge down, and now we have the shadow texture on the black one. The next thing I'm going to do is take the texture, and we're going to basically go to colors, colorize. As you can see, it's the layer up under our texture. It just changed it. So we're gonna take the saturation all the way up. Take the lightness down. And I'll take a color and brightness and contrast. Take it up to it's like a nice black that you want it to be. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Alright, okay. Now I'm going to export this. Go to export as. And then remember you want to save it to your desktop. The last one I called it a black leather bomber. This is right here. So I'm gonna just say I'm gonna call it Black Leather Bomber 2. Export. Now this is the trick I was telling y'all about. When you about to press export, notice how I can't press it. Okay, so I can't even save it. So it was like I had to click on the desktop and then click back on it. Now I can save it. That's what I was trying to show y'all. Alright, so now it's saved to the desktop, as you can see right here. That's the front, that's the back. So let's go to the product. We're gonna put this one on the back. Go to the edit. Black Leather Bomber 2. This is it right here. It'll load up right here. Press apply changes. Now we got the front and the back. Alright, so now let's change the hood. The hood is this one right here. So I have that one available too. So let's go back to Gimp. Put this one down. Here is the hood. Now I'm gonna just say I want this all black. This is gonna be the easy part. I'll just take this layer and just go to colors, go to colorize, and I will just take the saturation all the way out, like this, and take the lightness down. Take it down to however what satisfies you, whatever is black to you, if that makes any sense. I'll take the lightness down first, and then I will go to colorize. No, colors and then brightness and contrast. I'm sorry, and then do that like that. A little contrast. Say okay. Export as. What we call the last one, Black Leather Bomber 2. We gonna call this one Black Leather Bomber 3. Hell nah. Now I'm just having fun doing this, man. I hope y'all really appreciate me showing y'all this. To the ones that sat through it and watched it. You see how I had to do that? Desktop. Then I had to hit. I don't understand. That's some crazy trick. Alright, so see, look. I got it set. Black Leather Bomber 2. Black Leather Bomber 3. Black Leather Bomber. Alright, so let's go back here. This was the hood part right here. So now we're gonna just load that one that we just did. Black Leather Bomber 3. Apply changes. See? Now we got it. We got it. We got it. Got it. We got it. Got it. That's the even if you want it like that, black and green. That's a cool color combination. But we ain't finna be lazy. I'm finna go and show y'all. Okay. Yeah. 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 All right. So now we need the fourth part, right? Which is the sleeves. Now I already saved it. I already have the sleeves. So I'm finna go ahead and open up a new one. The size 512 by 512s. That's just a nice area that I would select to start with. We're gonna minimize that one. Now we're gonna drag and drop. This would be the sleeves. So I already had downloaded it from uh, his product page and everything like that. So now this is what we're gonna do with the sleeves. We're gonna go ahead and take this bomber texture that we set to the desktop, and we're gonna take it, and you know what we gotta do, scale it, scale tool, scale that thing like that, boom, boom. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna make like a nice size like that. Now I want to change the position of it because I know the diamonds is gonna look kind of weird. So I would right click on this on the picture and go down to layer, and then you can go to transform, and you can flip it horizontally, vertically, or you could turn it clockwise or counterclockwise. I apologize. So I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. All right. I'm still on the scale tools just to make a little adjustment. I probably say I want it like that width because I want to keep the detail of the sleeve. So I'll move this down like this. And that's what I'm saying. You don't use the texture all the time that the creator already made. Sometimes you just use it as a guide. Alright, so that's one sleeve. I would just be smart enough to duplicate it. This button right here, create a duplicate layer, or you can either right click on it and in the drop down you can go to duplicate layer. But you have two duplicate layers. So you'll click on one, make sure you go to your move tool first, and then click it, and then move it over like this. So now you got two sleeves. You can make it one layer by right clicking and go to merge down. So now you got your sleeve like that, right? If you want this to be black, just take the eye off of your texture, click on this texture, and remember you could well, I'm gonna show you a trick. Go to the rectangular tool, draw a rectangle around all of the sleeve texture, right? And you highlight it. You already selected on the layer that you're working on. Go to colors. Go to colorize. Take the saturation out all the way up. Take your lightness down. All the way down, but you know, because you want to keep some of your detail. And then to go back to colors, go to brightness and contrast, and then take your contrast up a little bit. It's like you're not making it all the way black. It's like you enriching your detail. If you see what I'm saying. And you press OK. When you go to File, Export As. We call them all black leather bombers, right? Last one we did was Black Leather Bomber 3, so we're gonna call this one Black Leather Bomber 4. Press enter. Here go that trick, remember? Sometimes you gotta click the desktop first. Now you can save it. Can be retarded sometimes. Alright, so now we got the sleeves done. And here goes the drum roll for the finishing touches. Oh look, people showing me love on the YouTube channel. See, that's what I'm talking about. Just wait, just wait. You're gonna love these tutorials, man. If you got the time and the patience to sit and listen, trust and believe, you're gonna love it. Anyways, here we go. Apply changes. Oh, 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 that boy, oh, oh. Now what did I just do? I actually made a mistake because I didn't put the texture back on there. But that's a pretty cool look too. But look, I'm gonna go back to Gimp and I'm gonna still make it right. Look, see, the texture wasn't on. But we put the texture on and then go back to file and just go export to black leather bomber 4. It just re saves over it. Alright? So boom. Go back over here and load it up again. And now we got the texture on there. Now press apply changes. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Alright, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm sorry for the long tutorial, but it's basically how you're gonna make your jacket, right? Then from here, don't just click save. Click the drop down. I'm sorry, tongue tied. Drop down and just type in whatever you want to name it. Save. T- Once you get to this page, oh well, I need more credits. Well, I'll save that for a better tutorial. But yeah, I'll show that next time. But yeah, for now on, just keep the practice of this video, and you'll get you a nice outcoming jacket. Peace.